Good morning. It is Sunday, February the 28th, and I'm coming again with a quick video before I go to the store. I do have today off, and I'm enjoying that. I've been doing a lot of, reflecting and, cleaning up some things and really being thinking about, the past 9 years because I'm in my ninth year in numerology, which is the time of completing things and letting go of things that no longer serves a purpose. And it's really deep. I'm currently in an intensive with Nubia I Sutton, and you can check her out on YouTube at Nubia I Sutton 1. It's NUBIAISUTTON, the number 1. And she's awesome. She's awesome. I've been following her since I began my vegan journey. She's definitely been an inspiration for me and for, I know, many in the Black community and many of the Black women. She's all about sisterhood and, healing yourself naturally, holistically, healing your womb. And I am just so excited, to always be a part of her intensives. And she's an awesome person, and she has actually turned into more so of a mentor to me, throughout the past several months. How sometimes people present, you don't realize how it's like, even though I've been watching her for so long, and then I finally started to use her services and, started being part of her intensive. It wasn't until like maybe a couple of months ago, a few months ago, I was like, wow, she's really like a mentor. I've learned so much from her. And it's just great learning a lot from a lot of the sisters that I've encountered through taking her intensives. And I am so thankful for it. You'll be amazed at how you can create bonds, from afar. It's an amazing thing, and how you can be inspired from people, that are, several states away or across the country or whatever like that. It's just a great, wonderful thing. But right now, I'm in one of her intensives called the spiritual house cleaning, where you're mentally, physically, and spiritually cleaning up areas, in your life to create abundance and balance in your life. And one of the first steps, of course, is by cleaning your physical house, and focusing on, where clutter is and things of that nature, and making your house more of a home and making it more lovely and things like that. And with me working, it's more of a challenge. So I'm learning now, because I know how I am, and I like to tackle everything at one time. But I'm learning to just focus on one area. Do not be hard on yourself, and just focus on that area, And we all know that when you clear space, and when you clean up a space, or when you bring some plants in, or you bring, like my husband, he brought some curtains into the kitchen, and it's like green and black. That green, I'm loving the green. The green just, the energy of the kitchen is even more. I like it because of that green. I don't know, but I've been definitely reflecting on things in the past, and there's so much that I want to get rid of that's like in the basement and stuff like that from my past. And it's just, I want to just be more minimal and just have what I need, so that we can bring in more things that we want, because me and my husband, we plan on having our own land. We plan on moving back down. Well, me move back down south. He's never lived down south. But I plan on living down south and stuff like that. And I'm just so inspired, and I'm just excited to tackle this, this home, and, with love or whatever. But when I was cleaning out one of the things I was cleaning out, and I've been cleaning out my emails at work, but of course when you're at work, you're always, doing what tasks you need to do. So sometimes you can't, when you clean out your email at work, you get more emails. So I've also focused on my personal emails that I've had over the years, and the ones that I currently use. And I had old emails from way back from November, not November, I mean from 2014. I was like, I still got emails from my inbox from 2014. I'm like, that's not good. Like, I need to clean this out. And so I was cleaning up all the junk mail in my folders, and like the emails that I wanted to keep, I organized them in a way that I had, emails for, let's say, recipes, or emails related to land, or, because we want to have our land, or emails related to readings, or, articles, self-development folder, all of that. I have, the emails that I want to save, I put them in those folders. So now that all of that's cleaned out, I now make an effort that whenever I get an email, if it's not something that I want, I put it in the trash. I throw it in the trash thing online, and the trash bin online, and then the ones that I keep, if I want to save them, I put them in the whatever folder they want to be in. So that's one of the big steps, because let me tell you, I was finding old emails that need to be deleted from like my past. Like, I'm one of those people, I like to hold on to memories. However, you know how sometimes people come and go in your life and you forget you got it, and it's like it's time to throw it out. It was like deep. But there's this picture that I found of me, old pictures that I found, and I was like, wow. It was a picture of me when I was like probably 20, 22, 21. I mean, like 21, 22. I was probably like a junior or senior in college. And this is when I lived in Carrollton, Georgia. I went to the University of West Georgia, and I think back on that. That was like, like 10 years ago, and I just think about how much has changed since then. And I just look at that picture, like, in the picture I had a sew-in, I had a weave. Underneath that, I had, a fro. And it was just so interesting. I was going through my changes. I was really starting to really tap into me, during that time period. And around the time that I was, going natural, but I was still wearing the weaves, like, I was like addicted to weaves because it was so convenient. Like, I would always get my weaves done like every 6 weeks, every 6 to 8 weeks, give or take. Sometimes it would be less than that, like maybe 5 weeks, just depending. But after a while, that was getting expensive. And then when it was starting to get expensive, I was like, hold up, Toya. You got a head full of hair. You got a full-blown fro. It was just clockwork. I would automatically go get a sew-in whenever it was ready. Whenever it was time to get one, I would just go get one. But the crazy thing about it was I had a head full of hair. So when I know for sure during my 9th year, in 2007 was my 9th year. It was my 9th year. And that year, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to start wearing my hair out. That was the year I also graduated from college. I graduated in December of 2007. And it's just, I think about, I'm like, wow, that's deep. I graduated from college during my 9th year, and now I'm in my 9th year, and I feel like I'm now, preparing myself for this new transition that's happening. I'm starting to develop my business, starting to, delve more into researching more about land and stuff, because that's what creating a legacy with my husband, that's something that I want to do, so I feel like I'm like shifting into a new direction. 9 years ago, I was in a completely different relationship. I was a young girl in a relationship, and that ended, peacefully. It ended peacefully. But then I went on to meet other people and to go other places, go to another school, go to graduate school or whatever like that. I didn't officially complete graduate school. And I sometimes think back on that and I'm like, man, if I had, because the way I grew up, you go to military or you go to the military or you go to college, you go to school and get your education. But, during that time period when I was in graduate school, I was like, I was taking the classes that were required and I was doing fine in them. I was making A's in them. And it was ironically, I was studying more about metaphysics. I was really delving into astrology. You know, I was really focused more on that part of science versus, why I was there at graduate school. The traditional, science with a traditional, in a school college setting science. It was the irony of it all is that I can remember it like yesterday, you know, almost being like rushing to get to my class because I was delving so deep into the metaphysics. Like I was really like studying it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to class, and I'll have the rush to get to class or whatever like that. Thankfully, I lived on campus. They had, graduate students could live on campus. So I was just like, it was just so funny back then. And I feel like that if you know, sometimes when you don't have someone saying, well, I understand you're here in school and it's good or whatever, I guess, but what do you want to do? What is your passion? What do you desire to do? If I feel like if I had more of that, and somebody telling me, it's okay. If you don't want to be here, you can leave. You don't have to be somewhere where you don't desire, And I was still in that mindset of, oh, I have to finish this. And, I started it and I have to finish this and this schooling or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative of everything that I've gone through because I know that there's a lesson in that. However, it was like if I had somebody really taking note of my, of my true passions, and because I was still young, and that's why I think it's so important to really hone into your child's passions, to really hone into what you see in them, not what you want them for them, but what do they choose? What do you see their strengths in, and what do they seem to gravitate towards, and how can you allow them to, live out their purpose, to live out their assignment, but at the same time, be able to be here in society and to still live a balanced life. I just think about that. I just think about that all the time. But I wanted to share this book. It's called Hair Story, Untangling the Roots of Black Hair in America. This was the book that I feel like started me on this little journey. During this time period, I was natural. I was a newly natural. And at West Georgia, there wasn't that many black girls wearing their hair natural, for real. You may see a few with the locks, but wearing their hair out like they wear it now, no, you didn't see that much. And this was like 2006 to 2007. My first roommate from college, she wore a weave, however, and her sister was the one that actually helped me transition, because she transitioned. Like my roommate, she had, she used a lot of people use weave sewings as a protective style. So she used to always get her hair done by her sister. Her sister did a great job on hair. And her sister was a natural, and her sister became a natural. And when I met her, she had like a teeny fro, but she would wear sewings all the time. But that girl hair grew out so beautifully when she did take it out or whatever like that. And I didn't even think about going natural at that point. But when I started to take more care of my actual hair, because I was in a college town, I have to manage my hair better, I don't have that much money, so I need to find ways to take care of my hair way better than I have been. So that's when I started doing that. And then when I started taking better care of my hair, then I started to notice, like, I would go on online forums. and one of my favorite online forums had women who was natural, and I was like, this is so beautiful. All it had to take was to me see other black women wearing their hair out naturally, and I was like, I'm gonna do that one day. But it came faster than I realized. You know, when you put something out in the universe, you know, things happen quicker than you realize. But this book really changed my perspective of life, and also of like, you know, being here, being a black woman here in America, being a black person here in America. It changed my perspective. You know, it I realized how much history is entwined into our hair. It's a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. And after that, when I was reading this book, I started getting angry. I started getting upset. You know, there's that natural feeling that you feel when you start to really see the truth. And you realize that you've been tricked. They tricked us, you know? But that's why it's so important to have knowledge of self and to do your own research. And if you have children, to instill those values of self, of pride and the culture and things like that, which I intend on doing for sure. But this book right here was the beginning, was the beginning. And I had no clue on what journey was going to take me to 2016. It was a very interesting road, you know. But I wanted to also talk about this. I thought this was so cool. I got so many freaking books. When I was looking for this one, I found this one. And it says, The Day You Were Born, A Journey of Wholeness Through Astrology and Numerology. I am so excited. It's like, sometimes I feel like when you sometimes forget the tools that you have, or the people that there's people that are around you to inspire you or to help you on your journey. And sometimes they're right there, or the information is right there, but you may not be ready for it at that time. But it's like, sometimes, like this book right here, A Journey Through Wholeness Through Astrology and Numerology. I don't remember when I bought this book. I didn't even know I had it. But it's a very interesting book. It's so interesting. But it talks about it specifically, like, for example, I'm just in a random one. I'm going to find my birthday really quick. And then I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm probably going to do some more. But I thought this was an awesome book. A super awesome book. Mine is in the beginning. August 19th, that's my birthday. August 19th. It says Leo 1. That's the 1 is what I'm striving to be in this lifetime. I know that for a fact. I forgot which one it is. You know, because we all have like our life path numbers, and we have like a soul purpose. We have our destiny number. I think we have our destiny number and things like that. I forgot which one it is, but I know 1 is what I'm striving to be in this lifetime. But I'm like a supercharged 5. I'm like a supercharged 5. I did a numerology reading with Nubia Sutton, and like she gave me 4 main numbers. And this was with my maiden name. And I feel like even if you get married, that your maiden, the name you were born with, that sticks with you forever. You know, and I think it's still important to look at your name, how the energy of your name changes if you become married, or you decide to change your name for whatever reason. I think it's still important to actually look into that and see how that correlates to your life. But I was like a 5 life path, a 5 like soul, a 5 like destiny, and then like a 9 personality. It was something like that. It was supercharged 5. I may be naming the wrong names, but just know that the four numbers she came up with, 3 of them were 5s. So I'm a true 5. But it's interesting when I was reading this, it was saying the purpose is to take your own path, accepting responsibility as you seek to find your own unique voice, to use the power and competition of others to hone your strength. You know, I think that's very interesting. I'm going to read more into this later on. But it says, one, people climb right over obstacles. They must own their competitive nature, otherwise they can get knocked around. Life does want Life wants them to be independent, take responsibility for themselves, but it also wants to have a good time. Leo ones must realize that they tend to measure their worth against the best and the brightest, but their true challenge is to only be the best they can be. The rewards of Leo are for the effort, not for the easy victories. Leo ones like to be alone, and others disappoint them, particularly when they haven't learned to put the team before their own success. They have an excess of imagination and idealism, making them either hopelessly romantic or cold and aloof. Leos can have the best of both worlds if they know how to be responsible and how to have a good time. Wow. Wow. It says I like the part where it says, you can't really see it, but it says if the spirit takes the lead, when your spirit is strong, the soul is idealistic, sensitive to the cruelty of the world. Their tender nature must learn to trust, but not blindly, to risk with wisdom, to strive for perfection while recognizing what already has been accomplished. Their need to fight for justice and freedom makes them righteous. Their impulse to overthrow rigid authority makes them rebels. The desire to help others through sharing their knowledge and strength makes them healers. Burdened with excessive amounts of imagination and emotion, Leos need to balance and discipline and strong values. Within every Leo is the call to greatness. For them to achieve this goal, they must need to take responsibility for themselves and be independent. The desire to separate can make them rovers who avoid personal growth through the constant exposure to new people, places, and adventures. Mysticals fascinate them. But if ego takes the lead, if the ego leads the way, their will and need for power are strong. These souls want to get ahead in the world at all costs. You have an access of charm. They know how to use others for their own ends, both in business and in love life. They can be cruel, hard, and uncompassionate, or ruled by powerful emotions. Interesting. I pulled some card. I pulled a card that I pulled tarot cards that I made, and I pulled the compassion card today. That's interesting. And for the ninth year, my ninth personal year, the rose quartz crystal is the stone that I should be having, and I do have that. My friend, I got it from my friend. She told me that each year you're supposed to have rose quartz, and I'm not rose quartz. Just a particular stone is supposed to help you for each personal year. That's what I mean. But it's just interesting because that's like a love stone. That's like a compassion stone. That opens your heart chakra. So that's interesting that they say that. They are reactive and unconcerned with consequences. Their problems come from their inability to be flexible and work with others, and their desire to be greatest. The world is not against them. They just keep meeting themselves. That's deep. And they have, for the people in this cluster, it's July 28th, Leo, August 1st, Leo, August 10th. My dad's birthday is on August 10th and August 19th. That's interesting. But they have them for all the signs. I'm going to read more into this and determine how they came up with the one. I know that the one is a part of my little numerology chart, but I don't know which one it is. I don't know which one it is. So, but that's all for now. This video is almost 30 minutes long. But if you've been watching this long, thank you so much. And I'll be back later for maybe some more videos. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you guys later.